Master in Anatomy and Physiology with Indramani Pandey.
Guys, this is my next lecture regarding cell, right? Last time we talked about different types of cells. We defined cell, we talked about prokaryotic and the eukaryotic cells, and we talked about different components of the eukaryotic cells, like nucleus, cell membrane, and cytoplasm. But in today's lecture, I'll briefly talk about nucleus, which is a control center and which is a conspicuous organism. Okay, it is the main component of the cell where genetic information is located. Why it is important? I will tell you. From this lecture, you will be able to define the nucleus. You will be able to mention the characteristic of nucleus and the functions of the nucleus. You will know how to draw a nucleus. You will know the associated components of the nucleus. Let me start with the structure of the nucleus. Then I will mention about nuclear envelope, chromatin, and the nucleolus, which are the basic component of the nucleus. Let's see here. This is a general structure of the nucleus. If someone tell you, can you draw a nucleus? You're supposed to have some type of idea that nucleus is round or spherical in shape, or it may be oval in shape, depending on the shape of the cell, right? In the plant cell, it may be like elongated form, right? Little bit, but in animal cell, it may be spherical in shape because the cell is like different types, so with the different shapes. So whatever inside the cell depends on the outside structure, right? So that's the basic idea we need to understand here. Here I draw in a spherical form. You can see that nucleus is covered by a membrane. That membrane is called nuclear envelope. That nuclear envelope has two layers. So it is a bilayer, the outer and the inner. The outer membrane is connected or attached with the endoplasmic reticulum, usually rough endoplasmic reticulum. It is rough because it has ribosomes in it. It may be smooth if there is no ribosome in it, right? So if you look the nuclear envelope, you're gonna see some type of pores, as you can see here, which is the open space. What do you think? It's like a gate or a door from where molecules can pass, from where molecules can come out, right? Entry and the exit, okay? Entry and the exit, like a door. So when these pores unite together, they may form a complex called a nuclear pore complex. This nuclear pore complex is a way, is a channel, type of channel which allow molecules to move out and in, okay, to keep the homeostatic balance. So what is the main function of nuclear envelope? To protect the inner content and to maintain the homeostatic balance. Next, when you see here the outer and the inner membrane, they have a certain diameter, which is usually 20 to 40 nanometer in diameter. And there is a space between two membranes, the outer and the inner. That space is called perinuclear space. The inner membrane is attached or lined by nuclear lamina. Nuclear lamina is like a net-like structure, and it is a form of protein, let's say. Okay, nuclear lamina is composed of proteins. That's the basic idea. We need to get it. Okay, and when you go inside the lamina, you're gonna see the nucleoplasm. Before I dive into nucleoplasm, I must say what is the function of nuclear lamina. Nuclear lamina supports the nuclear envelope and gives the shape for the nucleus, basically. Okay, that's the main function, I think. And the nucleoplasm is usually accounts of water, mostly water. It may have ions and other type of molecules on it. Okay, so that's why it's called nucleoplasm. The nuclear envelope separates the two compartments. The outside of the nucleus, you have a cytoplasm or cytosol, right? So inside is nucleoplasm. So it separates the two compartments. Okay, it separates the two compartments. That's very important to understand. Now, in the nucleoplasm, there are basically two structures which are very important, which is nucleolus right here in the middle, which is round in shape. Usually, per nucleus has like one nucleolus, but you may have more than one nucleolus depending on the type of cell. And from the nucleolus, there is one structure you can see, which is a thread-like structure. Okay, that is called a chromatin. Chromatin is a thread-like structure. Okay, the chromatin has DNA. Chromatin has different proteins. Let me tell you, the chromatin structure may change its shape and the size. It may get more thick and short. That structure usually we call chromosome. Don't be confused with chromatin and the chromosome. Okay. Now, the chromatin in the chromatin structure, sometimes there is a certain structure they form with the protein that is called nucleoplasm. That we call nucleosomes. Nucleosomes are the combination of one long strand of DNA with 8 proteins, histone protein. And these proteins and the nucleosomes has a great role in controlling gene expression. Okay, and it has a great role during the transferring the information to the the upcoming generations, right? So how you gonna express that gene, or how you gonna suppress the expression of that gene? It all depends on the nucleosome cell. Okay, so proteins and the DNA strand, they just the proteins clamp the DNA strand and form a nucleosomes. Okay, we need to understand that. The chromatin, as I told you, during cell division, it may change its shape and sizes, and you may look chromatin as a chromosome or sometimes chromatids, right? It may go through different type of structure. So you need to understand that. And the main function of the nucleolus is to manufacture ribosomes. When the mRNA is transported from here to the outside, okay, it may combine with the ribosome, and it will start what? The translation process. What is translation process? It's a making of polypeptide chain or proteins, right? So we need to understand that. Now, what I want to mention one more thing is the chromatin approximately composed of, okay, this chromatin approximately composed of 30% DNA, 30% DNA and 60% histone protein, and only 10%, okay, 10% of RNA chain. Okay, so you're gonna find more proteins, okay, on the chromatin structure. That's the important thing we need to understand. As I told you, the nucleoplasm is made up of mostly of water, or mixture of various molecules and some ions also. Okay, it is the nucleoplasm is highly gelatinous in nature. It is like sticky also. Okay, gelatinous and sticky. And remember, a solid fluid component of the nucleoplasm is called hyloplasm. What do you call that? Hyloplasm. So this is the general structure of the nucleus, and it is a control center. It is very important because it has genetic information. If something happened, the expression and the suppression of the gene if takes place here, okay, what will happen? You may have genetic defect. Your children may suffer from different types of genetic diseases. So that's why nucleus is a very conspicuous organ and we need to protect it. Okay, we cannot do by ourselves, but we may try to do that. So nucleus is very important and it is a very basic and a very useful component of the cell which directs or which controls all other organelles, right? So that's why nucleus is very important. Thank you for watching today's lecture. In my next lecture, I'll cover cell membrane or plasma membrane or phospholipid bilayer, okay? And after that, in another lecture, I'll talk about like different components that hangs around or hangs in the cytoplasm, like mitochondria, chloroplast. Okay, I'll talk about those too. Okay, see you. Bye-bye.
Please subscribe to see more videos regarding anatomy and physiology.